Hi, it's me again with Corel Draw Tips and Tricks, and I did this for someone, and evidently I didn't understand what they were wanting to do. There are some lines in the tail section that are like double, and if you made this bigger than a hairline, and that he's in millimeters, so I don't know if that's would engrave. This is going to engrave. Now, toward the tail section, it's going to get pretty messed up. And then if you look at it in wireframe, there are a lot of lines that need to be cleaned up. So if you were going to do this and wanted to take the time to do it, my suggestion, and I've made several videos on this, is to group it together, put it in the center of the page, and then draw a line and put it in the center of the page. Now the aircraft is not 100% symmetrical, so you need to pick what side you want to use. I'm going to use the left side, or I'm going to take away the right side, or leave the right side. So I'm going to move this ladder, but you could move that out of the way if you wanted to start. And I am going to, it's already broken apart. I'm going to take my virtual segment delete tool, and I'm going to delete up to that line. And then you just need to zoom in. And just for grins, I've done this several times on several videos, and I'm not going to take the time to make it perfect, but I'm kind of trying to see if this would help him. He said there's a better way to do it in Photoshop, and he was just wondering if there was a way to do it inside of Corel where you could take away those lines, and I'm not going to, it would take some time to do it correctly. But what I'm getting at, there are thousands of lines in this motor. You just don't want to get over that line. But see, if you have only half of it to recreate, and I'm going to show you here in just a second what and you'd have to zoom in here. And then you would actually take these nodes and get it. You don't want to take away your line, but you could do it several different ways. You could use the shape tool and just move that node over, as long as it's away from that spot. Anyway, but if you look at it under wireframe, I mean, this motor, I noticed this earlier, the engine is just made up of thousands of lines. I mean, thousands of lines, and it needs to be just black. So I would actually draw the motor engine, I guess it's an engine, turn that into a curve, get your shape tool, and bring it in closer to the size of the engine. Let's zoom in here. Maybe add a node right there and call that good enough. And then see what our nudge distance is. Put it like 1 inch. Try to grab that our new item. And then just delete all these lines. And there's actually another line there, and this would take some time. But if you're going to engrave it in I'm pretty sure that if you make all your lines above a hairline, they're not going to engrave. But look at that, all those lines. And you're getting rid of those lines, and you're only having to do this on 50% of it. Can you imagine if you had to do it again? And then once you got it to a certain point, you could actually use the pick tool and just start picking them. I mean, there are hundreds of lines there. Every once in a while you pick too much, you get the shape tool. and I'm not going to take all the time to do the whole. But if you did this for half of it, it would save you half the time, and you're going to get it more uniform because there's no way you could do it exactly the same on both sides. So if you did it just 50%, and then I'm going to show you in just a second, I'm going to take away a few more lines. I don't think these lines will hurt you, even though they are. Some of them are hairlines, as long as you're not going to cut it out. I think I took away something that was important. But I'm almost there, and then we'll do this. And there's a lot you could do with this. Then I would take, and I'm gonna move my new engine down or over, and just in case I've got a leak, I'm gonna put a rectangle, but I'm gonna fill it in with black. Oh, I'm looking at wireframe. There's my new engine. Nudge it over. Erase some of these. Then you could actually play with it. And see, I've got it pretty well there. You could take it and put it to that tail. You know, I think it actually has a little bit of a curvature to it. You know, you could right click and turn them into a curve, and then grab that center and just kind of bring it in a little bit, whatever. But anyway, then remove your center line, and I would group this together, control. Well, there is a part with the nose. I noticed there's a lot going on here with the nose. And we were actually over the line. So let me back up, put the line back. There's like lines on top of lines. It's the same thing as the engine. There are thousands of lines in this spot. Go back to enhanced. I never use wireframe. I don't really ever need to. But what's happening? Look at all the lines. So for the video, I'm not going to delete them all, but you can see how this is going to affect us. And I just wonder if I use the Alt tool with the, nope, there's just line after line after line. I want to get rid of that. And I'm sorry I'm taking your time. So you can go back to the pick tool. And I'm going to do this right here. I'm going to see if I can't grab that point and just move this over. Nope, there's another line there. So that's what he's trying to do, is get rid of those lines. I don't say it's going to affect you. There's a lot of lines here. You could actually take this line and move it out of the way. See, there's like a double line there. But if you're just going to engrave this, I don't understand why you can't just engrave it. You know, the only problem would be if you're going to cut it out. And I'm sorry I'm taking all your time. It's just so many lines. It's just lines on top of lines. And it won't let me grab it one at a time. Normally when you use the Alt key, let's try that with the pick tool. It worked, but it took my center line away. Tell you what, for just a second, we're going to take our center line and nudge it out of the way. Now we can grab all that. There we go. Now I'm going to bring my center line back. Put P, and we can move this. So we've got like two sets of lines there. But for the video, I'm just going to get rid of that. And I'm just going to put that line to the center. And if you were doing this for yourself, you'd might want to make sure you get this line cut off. You don't want anything sticking over your line, even though it probably doesn't matter. And I don't like that line there. But anyway, call that good enough for the video. Remove your center line, back up, group it all together, Control G, Control D, while holding down the control button, flip it over. And we're a little bit off. And then I would change my nudge distance to something less, 0.001. Grab this new side and nudge it over. Now we got to go pretty far. Hold down the control button. And then just zoom in. And then you can nudge so ever so slightly. We're a little bit over right there. So let's, and who says that we're perfect everywhere? You just have to look at it. But now you have two engines that don't have any lines behind them. You've still got your problem, but if you'd fix this and, maybe even fill in these lines, I'd be real careful doing this, filling in when you don't know what's there. You could fill in those lines, make it look a little bit different. Anyway, I hope that helped a little bit, and thank you for watching.